Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Patriot Patch Company and Camerado. Allegedly, Sharenda and Jim will be joining us. Allegedly. Jim's currently serving up chili dogs to the Sandley Gun Club membership. Said, "Where's mine?" He said, "You're too damn far away. Get over it." Oh. And Sharenda still hasn't figured out how to make that drive in like 10 minutes. So there you go.
Yeah.
Paul's got a new background today.
Oh, wow. Yes, it's my new gonna be the new reloading room. As soon as I get everything torn apart. And put together and all that other kind of good stuff. Insulate it and got enough lighting. Oh my gosh. You see that?
Yeah.
Really?
We'll even let her in.
Evening.
Hello.
Evening, girl.
How's it go there, strangers?
I don't know. Good. You tell us.
Well, I'm just so happy I made it in enough time.
So, anyway, you do anything this weekend in reloading, Mike?
Not really. I've been helping a friend who I don't need that. Go away. I've been helping a friend who good grief. Is kind of recovering from a medical issue and moving at the same time. So moving from a multi-level place to a single level place. So I've been helping him move a bunch of his stuff. So that's pretty much what my time's been filled with.
Understand that. That's difficult. That's difficult. Nick?
Didn't do a lot.
No new toys, you mean?
Well, I might be getting one. I'm on the call list for it, and it's going to be a pretty penny. So, a local shop got in a Enfield number 4 Mark 1T sniper rifle.
Ooh.
So
legit and complete.
The scope has not arrived at the shop yet. The owner hasn't brought the scope. He had to look for the scope. He told the shop it is an original and matching the gun. So when the scope arrives, they will give me a call. I'm the first on the list. So yeah, it's going to cost a pretty penny, but if it's all legit, markings are all correct, everything's correct on it. It's probably one of the only times for the price, it's well worth it. It's just probably the only time I'll ever be able to find one in this price point. So it's going to kind of have to jump on it. So, other than that, did a little bit of research over the weekend for some of the cartridges I'm going to start forming for the shoot that one of the Discords I'm on. A lot of the guys come in town for our big military gun show over the summer, and there's a couple cartridges I want to get quite a few rounds loaded up for, and then a couple guys want to shoot it, and so other than that, not a lot. So
you got your dirty little mitts on a Enfield, huh?
Well, this is the only Enfield I'm missing. I have all the other models, just the sniper, but it was always just gotten too expensive because normally they're about $5,000, and this one's well below half that. So
Ooh.
Yeah, you see where I'm coming from there. You kind of have to jump on it. So
Yeah.
and it's one of those things. Is a guy here locally has like 7 of them, so I know him real well. And I told him, hey, what do I got to know? What's all the markings I need to know? He's like, you need it as long as this. I'm like, yep, it's got it all. He's like, okay, yep, that's legit. So he's got connections to the gentleman in England that can rework the scopes if they're seized up. So it's good, and that's why I'll say it's good to have connections. And if you can get those connections, hold on to them.
Yeah. Little lady, what's with you?
Sir. Working. Had a lot of wilderness events the last few weeks. As far as reloading, I got all of my equipment finally unboxed and now working on some type of portable bench situation so we can get some reloading events going this winter or this fall. So it's just been a lot of scuttlebutt with me. Tried to go turkey hunting.
How'd that work out for you?
I heard them. I saw one, but I wasn't in a good angle to take the shot and nudged my friend and told her to go for it, and she missed it at 7 yards.
7 yards, she missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Mm-hmm. And he turned around and I swore he laughed at us and flew off.
And
which she politely said, I hope I didn't injure it. And me chuckling saying, nope, you absolutely did not.
went right by its head, right?
Yeah, I don't even think it was close to his head. Like, when I asked her, too, where did you aim? And she said, at the head. And I said, at that close?
And 7 yards with a real tight gun, that could be a problem.
Yeah, it was just her. I honestly don't think she thought there were going to be any there. And I keep telling everybody, regardless if I want them there or not, turkeys always pop up when I don't need them to or in a direction I don't need them to be in.
Oh. Yeah, turkeys are one of the rare, one of the funny ones that you hunt that will surprise you. Like calling a turkey in, you think it's coming in from in front, and next thing you know, it's behind you.
I think this one did come from behind us too. He came in quiet and he came in strutting hot too. He was actually kind of cute to watch, but I bet he would have been pretty tasty.
All are, yeah.
I've never had a wild turkey yet.
You're missing something. They're good. They're a good meal.
So I hear.
Buddy of mine got one a couple weeks ago on a Wednesday, and on Friday, we smoked the breasts in the smoker at work, and then ate them for lunch.
Nice.
That really sounds good. Well, I learned a couple of things. If I'm ever sitting in a blind with any of my buddies, I either need to just go ahead and take my crossbow for space and swingability, or I definitely need to get a shorter barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
I would prefer to sit in a blind by myself, but that's not always the case because it's not enough swing space.
Yeah, I learned to spot and to spot and stalk turkeys, so that's how I hunted them on my property. You call and they answer, and you kind of figure out which way they're going, and then you kind of mosey on over that way and shoot them, when you get a chance.
I probably will try that one day. I didn't do it this season. My knee is messed up, and It was a last minute thing. It was fun to go. Honestly, I've had a really nice, relaxing nap. So
Okay.
it was still a win for me. Had another funny story. I got rewarded for I missed the bird, so I got Mexican food and margaritas and tequila. So
Oh, well, that makes up for it right there.
yeah, so I got to go outside, got to hunt, got to hang with good people, got to have good food, got to have good booze. What more could a girl ask for?
Sounds like a perfect idea, other than not getting the
turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those. She said, I should have just waited and let you get it. And I was like, it really is not that big of a deal to me. I'll get a turkey when it's time for me to get a turkey. It's like, if it was that big of a deal, I would have nudged you and told you to go for it.
There you go. Yeah, so Jim is serving chili dogs up tonight, huh?
Yep.
Must be the first Tuesday of the month. He's got to
Yep.
play. He's got to play waiter. Okay. And where's the other half of the Milsurp duo?
Busy with housework.
Housework.
In Illinois
Working on
or
the house.
here?
Yep.
Yeah, Illinois.
In Illinois.
How's the house? Is the house?
They won't be
going
out
up
here
already?
for another. It's going up good. I'll send you guys some photos in our Facebook chat later. Foundation's all poured. All the basements framed in. Well, everything besides the roof's on. All
Okay.
besides trusses. Last time I was out there,
Good.
and that was on Sunday. I was out there. So who knows? The trusses might be on. So who knows? We haven't had any rain for a day or two. So yeah, who knows where they're at. So they might be starting inside probably within 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that's always the longest part is all the inside, the plumbing, wiring.
Yeah.
So the outside goes up quick, but
Yeah, it does. But they got windows yet. They got
no windows are in yet. So I imagine you'll probably So I was probably a little early on it. So it'll probably be a month, and then they'll probably be inside, I'd say.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's coming along, and so they're excited.
The garage going up at the same time?
Yeah, garage is up, and it's a
Okay.
nice big garage. So, yeah.
Is he going to get one of them lifts so he can pull another car in underneath his?
Well, he already has a car lift because they had an old 60 Bel Air at one time, so the Bel Air was up and then the Camaro was parked underneath. But now, since he's sold the Bel Air, we're maybe going to start another project. So we're not sure when that would be, what that would be. My uncle's thinking about selling his Camaro, so.
So you need a Camaro now?
Well, it's a 67, and it's an automatic, so we're good on that front.
One day we teach you how to drive a stick.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. I got teenage girls that'll teach you how to drive a stick.
Yeah, I'll learn. Just got to get the Camaro over here. There's big enough parking lots around here I can do it in.
Okay.
That poor clutch.
I'll be fine. Mike, the last time I was under 16, the last time I learned.
That poor
The
clutch.
look on your face
That
right
poor
now.
clutch.
Last time I tried.
That poor clutch.
Yeah. That
And yes, Russ. Yeah. Gracie is in the background being obnoxious.
That and the plastic gears that are in it. So, what do we got going today?
So, well, we've got one question that a listener sent us, and then we got to find some more questions. So if anybody in the chat wants to send some questions.
Okay.
But I got to go get the loudmouth first. So I will.
We'll talk among ourselves here.
Talk amongst yourselves, and I will read the question when I get back from getting Gracie in.
Okay. So while the boss is retrieving the puppy, so Sharenda, you're going to start reloading soon?
Hopefully. I finally got my office semi-cleared out. It's just a matter of setting up my personal one, but my main concern is I need the mobility tables so we can have classes someplace else.
Okay.
That's not my house.
All right. Go to Home Depot. Oh, let me see if I can get it up here.
Now, keep in mind, Paul, a not-for-profit 501c3 is funding this.
I understand that. And we're looking at...
Don't be pulling out the Craig off of tables.
No Craig off, none of that.
The humidity is starting.
Yeah, it is.
But that's okay. I'll take it over snow.
Yeah. So Sharenda.
So, hi guys. I've listened to a lot of your shows and I have not heard you cover this. Can you point me to a show where you've covered this or advise me? Do you know if any of the bullet seating die manufacturers produce dies that seat the bullet using a bullet seat plug that's independent of the bullet shape? Then I would just need one bullet seating plug for each caliber I load. By that I mean it gets seated the same way you measure CBTO using an ogive comparator tool and calipers. Or is this method likely to put too much pressure on that part of the projectile and cause deformation at the base of the ogive? Or am I completely off base with this and have completely misunderstood how it all works? Thanks for any guidance you can provide. Best regards, Stephen D. from Down Under. So first off, Paul, what's CBTO?
Cartridge base to ogive. In other words, it's the cartridge length to the ogive, from the ogive to the case head, bottom of the case head. So he's trying to measure the bullet the best way you can, but he's running into the problem is that ogives and tips and everything all change between different bullets of the same caliber. They're not, and different manufacturers. So he's trying to find one that fits them all. What about it, Nick? You think he can find one?
I've never found one.
Sharenda, you think you can find one?
I can see if I can work some Google flu, but I've never heard of it, which doesn't really say much.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
I don't. It hurts too much.
Okay.
But no, there is.
Hornady used to make custom seating stems.
You can.
I don't even know. I thought you still could.
Yeah.
That's the only closest way you can really get.
But even then, they're still not doing it off the ogive. They're doing it off the tip.
Mm-hmm.
Because typically your ogive is a moving target.
Mm-hmm.
So, from projectile to, honestly, even literally from projectile to projectile. I mean, if you theoretically they should be the same if they're, making quality projectiles, but they're not always exactly the same. So, the issue you run into is you run into your all-in-one stem designed to work off ogive may work on nozzlers and spears, but don't work on Sierras and Hornaday, or they work on Game Kings but not tipped Match Kings, or they work on semi-wad cutters for handguns, but they don't work for full metal jackets, and they don't work for hollow points, and so that's kind of the problem you run into. Is, I mean, theoretically, after a lot of research, you might be able to come up with something that would kind of work, but it's not going to be very efficient, and it's not going to be very consistent. And there's your problem.
Yep. The best we can recommend is
get a glue gun.
A glue gun works, yes. Or buy extra stems and some bullets and some valve grinding compound, and grind the
stem
to fit the bullet.
Mm-hmm. But then you're back into the same situation of now it only works for that bullet.
Right, but you have to buy extra stems, that's all.
Yeah.
Hornady on their seeding die has interchangeable stems that you can buy. Because they do make a VDL stem and a standard, so you have at least two ways to go there. And then buying more stems, you can make them to fit the bullet and just get a easy marker, one of them electrical pencils, and or have Bench Addict laser engrave the bullet name on it, and you go from there.
Mm-hmm.
The other deal is all the variation in the bullets. I mean, you were talking, but I get out and I measure bullets when I'm pointing them, and I will see 5 thou difference in length upon batches and whatever. There's some variations just in different lots. So, we have that going.
Well, I had him inside. And while I was
okay. All right, Brenda. Let me see if I can get this up for you real quick.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Oops.
See that? It's on rollers. You can take that everywhere you want to go, and it will definitely hold a reloading press. And they make smaller ones than a 52-inch, so you can go down in size. So, all right, Mike. What? You got something?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, no, I was saying that's on my personal list. I'm not so sure if that is trailer friendly, though, because we do have to keep it in a trailer.
Yeah, it's trailer friendly.
It's not a very big trailer.
Doesn't have to be. You can buy one in 48 inch if you want. They got 46 inch. If any smaller than that, and how are you going to reload on it?
Yeah, what he said.
But yeah, you put a press on there and everything else. It's yeah.
So what we were talking about with the glue gun, basically, you can do it one of two ways. The best way to do it is with the stem in the die, but you can do it outside the die as well. But basically, you take your glue and you pour it into the stem, and then you push your bullet into the glue. Usually what I'll do is I'll put like a light coating of oil on the bullet so it releases from the glue easily when the glue cools. And now you have a custom seating stem that fits the bullet.
So when you do it, you don't want to go all the way hard stop on it. You just want to get it so it fits the bullet and not so it pushes all the metal out and everything. Pushes to the metal and gets you back to the same place.
Right.
You want some cushion.
Light pressure.
Yes. Yeah, hot glue guns work. Going through and buying different VDL stems and regular stems for the die manufacturer, depending upon who it is, and the old valve grinding compound and a drill. It takes about 20 minutes to shape shape one to fit with the drill and valve grinding compound to do a good job.
And you're just chucking that bullet up in the drill, right?
Yep.
But you're doing low speed.
Yeah, not slow. Not number two. No. Yeah, low speed. Just letting it go and turning and keep dipping the bullet back into the valve grinding compound so it keeps fresh material in the cup so it grinds it away. And the bullet will last a pretty long time. You'd be surprised how hard it is. It will get down in size, but it usually I can do it in about 2 bullets if on a really bad one. On a fairly decent size, 1 bullet, that's it. And sometimes you do have to resort just to the hot glue gun because the tips are too long. So having a hot glue gun nearby is a good idea. I keep one.
I saw that, Nick.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get my sleep back from Sunday night.
Really?
Hey, I had to cry myself. You know why I had to cry myself to sleep Sunday night?
Yep. Yep, I know why you had to cry yourself to sleep, Simon.
I pulled the Stewie. It's like, all right, get some sleep. We just started crying. No, I'm joking. That was a tough loss, that's for sure.
Yeah. So the his beloved Blues lost Game 7 of the first round in the second overtime to the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh.
1.9 seconds.
The worst part about this entire mess, with 3 minutes left in the third period, they were up 3-1.
What?
Yeah.
Jordan Bennington just got lost somewhere, and
I don't blame that on Bennington.
St. Louis Blues defense forgot to show up. So
they were celebrating the win before they won, huh?
No, there was some bonehead moves. Like one guy decided to ice the puck when he could have skated about 30 feet and then got cross mid ice and then chucked it down into burn time. But I don't blame any of those goals on Bennington. They were all redeflections.
Yeah.
Or that the weird angles that there was no way to stop.
Well, the one was off the one Blues player.
Yeah, there's nothing he could have done.
The game-tying goal was off a Blues player.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's not much he could do about that. But
1.9 seconds.
But the goal before, the goal to get him within one, he could have.
Yeah.
That one he misplayed. But, yeah, the tying goal, no, I don't put that on Jordan. But hi. What are you doing?
But
I thought I had a couple more questions, but I don't in the email, so I'm wondering where the heck I found them, where they went, because I didn't get a chance to put them into the show notes. What? They're having quite the conversation there. Oh, look, pink brass. I'm looking for questions. Good grief. So, Sharenda, what you been up to overall? How's the new job?
It's okay. It's different. I mean, it's not bad. It's just different.
Yeah.
I don't like my commute home in the evenings. The morning there isn't bad. It's the coming home part that sucks.
All right, here's one I want to ask. What reloading kit is the best with everything needed in one kit, or at least minimal shopping? You're going to start reloading. What's one kit you would buy? Is there, or even if there is one?
Would we put a price limit on this?
No.
No.
Okay. I know, because I know that's all over the board. You see them from $200 all the way up to $1,000. So I didn't know if we had to put a price limit on it, or
buy one that is gonna, that has whatever, all the stuff you need. And what's normally missing from one of those kits? Bless you.
Whoops, hit the wrong button.
Bless you.
Turn the cam off and not the mute button.
And what's normally missing from some of those kits?
All right, so I'm on Graf & Sons right now. And they list 44 kits.
Wow.
So they list in stock first, but I want to do that. I want to do A to Z. So obviously the 50 BMG's out.
Yeah.
Okay, so question. Two clarifying questions. How many cartridges are we loading?
Okay. I'll say 2. I mean, that's all.
Pistol and rifle, both pistol, both rifle.
One pistol, one rifle.
Okay. And
I'm gonna go 9mm on it and 223 to start.
Okay, well, if that's the case, I'm gonna tell him just go buy bulk.
Hey,
But anyway, on a serious note, okay, so that's the main question. There is, what are we loading for? So we've got a pistol cartridge and a rifle cartridge. Theoretically, we're looking at high volumes of both. Typically, neither of those cartridges are usually a low volume cartridge.
Right.
Who is making all that noise?
What noise?
Somebody's moving a bunch of crap around and their microphone's picking it all up. So. All right. So we've got the Hornady lock and load. We don't care about the iron press because nothing we're loading is going to be requiring that much pressure. So basically we're looking at, I mean, you can do single stage, but at this point in time, we're kind of looking at either like a turret or a progressive, to be fair. We kind of ruled out any thoughts of a single stage with the 2 cartridges we chose. It's just not practical in any way, shape, or form. So what you're looking at, you've got your Hornady lock and load ammo plant, which is $15.75.99 normally. It comes with the press, the bullet feeder, the case feeder, bushings, They give you 6 of the springs that they use for holding in the brass on the
Shell plates.
shell plates. So
okay. What about scales?
well, that's what I'm looking at. I don't see any of that.
Yeah, so you need to buy a scale. You need to buy, a set of calipers. You need, there's quite a few things you need to buy there. But the powder measure is there. I mean, he's already got that. You got, of course, the dies you're going to have to buy, and the shell plate. A scale of some type. Primer flip tray. A way to lube cases so you can run your bottleneck cases through your
It's not gonna work.
Through your case feeder. The bullet feeder needs a rifle feeder conversion to run that, because it's got a bullet feeder on it, and you'll need that.
I think the ultimate reloading system kit from Lyman's probably one of the best all around for the price point. I think it's right there, out of stock. But what is that?
$623.99.
Yeah, and you get a
So
good
you
start.
your All-American 8-turret press, your Gen 6 powder dispenser, the universal trimmer, tumbler, loading manual, loading block, calibration check weights, case prep multi-tool, bench wrench for your dies, hand priming tool, case lube, puller, and calipers.
Wow.
I look at that as a good point, because nice thing, you don't have to. I don't like the Lyman hand primer personally, but with that one, it has the on press priming system you can get for it, and that's not much. But it gets you a good starting point. Like the Lyman case trimmer, I use it. I know my dad's got one. I know tons of people have them. The Gen 6 powder dispenser's okay, but it's a good starting point.
Are any of the powder dispensers out there that would come in the kit, electronic ones, any good?
Define any good.
One, do they last?
So far from the Lyman number 6, I've seen that they do seem to last.
Okay. Are they accurate?
As long as you're not putting them next to a IntelliDropper.
Okay. How are they on overcharges or undercharges?
As far as like consistency, or as far as overall?
Yeah. Consistency.
I've not done I didn't get around to doing a actual, let's throw 100 charges and see.
Okay.
I didn't have the time when I was testing it, so.
I know I did a test on the ChargeMaster link from RCBS, and it did fair. I call it fair. To most people, it'd probably be good in holding charges. Maybe 1 in 20 would overcharge. Accuracy, to check it against a precision balance. Anywhere from 0.02 of a grain to 0.05 of a grain swing. So that's not bad, other than the overcharges that you get. It's not bad. And it's I'm going to say it's a good one to go with. I haven't seen any problems with any of them, with any of the Chargemaster links. So
that's the only kit I can find with an electronic powder dispensing scale.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, and
really nice.
Point with what you get there is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And it's $600,
like $620.
Considering that the Lyman number 6 is $200 by itself.
Yeah, and then your press is about another $200, if not a little more, for the Lyman All-American 8, and that's an 8 station. So nice thing, you don't need to get any more tool heads. You can put all your dies on one single tool head.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's in stock right now at Mid-South. Shooter Supply, $630.
That's a what are they using for lube on that and everything else? Is that there?
They got the Lyman Quick Slick case lube. So with dial calipers, so you don't need batteries.
Oh, nice.
Hand primer, little loading block, a kinetic bullet puller. Yeah, everything that gets you, pretty much everything that gets you going.
I wonder if they're gonna put that new hand primer that Lyman came out with in that kit.
See that? Look that up.
Has anybody seen that new Lyman hand primer that they have bench mounted?
I have not.
Oh yeah, the one that's got the little rotating like cam action system.
Right.
Yeah, we saw that shot. That's pretty. I could see them doing a kit like that
because it eliminates the rim thickness problem with it, and you do have to handle the primers. It's not a mechanical feed.
There you go, Paul.
Yeah.
They have another one that comes. You can use a drop tube though. At least they had it shot.
Now that one, I could see that one for, if you're coming out with electronic scale, you have this priming system, and yeah, that would be a one to go with.
Yeah, their auto load bench one's $175, a little more expensive. But I say for that price, you get the RCBS though. That's just me. For the $175. I think it's $50 was that other one. So
what's that other one, Paul?
PCP.
Yeah, it's like
$200. Requires a press to use it. Comes with large and small priming tubes, and uses Lee shell holders. And it's supposed to give you as accurate primer seeding as the Primal Rights priming tool for a third of the price.
So for that kit, the All-American 8 comes with the vertical mount or vertical feed priming system for on press, so you don't have to worry about buying anything extra for that, which is nice.
Okay.
So that kind of averts the hand primer. At least something to get you started, and then you can always upgrade to like a bench top primer or some other system. Yeah.
Yeah, you could fit that poor man's priming system on that press, and it would work with it. Yep.
Especially if you're just running 3 die sets, you got 2 extra turrets. Holes.
Yeah. 550C Essential Kit. It's got it all.
Does it?
Well, a loading manual, that's a plus. Electronic scale, that's good. Dillon spray lube, that's good. A die wrench, all right. Electronic caliper. The best priming tray, priming flipping tray that's made. It's aluminum. Primes on press. Powder measure on press. Yeah, that's a pretty good setup.
Here's the deluxe kit.
It's going to come with the bench top mount. It's going to come with the roller handle, the bullet tray, and the kinetic bullet puller. And so it's a good chunk of money. And you can convert that press with a little bit of work to load precision cartridges if you want.
Yep.
Tommy Boy says that the Lee app priming system is about the best one out there. High end. That was the one thing that was missing on all of them, the trimmer. Oh, we missed that.
No, the Lyman's got it. It's got the bench top trimmer.
Lyman's got the bench one? Okay.
Yep.
Dillon did not have a trimmer. Would somebody here buy a Lee kit? I mean, their cast iron press is up there in price now.
If I were to start all over, I would probably buy that Lyman.
Okay.
Because it gets me all around everything to start. Lee's a good. It depends on the person. It depends on where you're starting. That's. It's hard to really jump back into those shoes because I've been doing it either so long, and I reload so many different calibers. It's hard to jump back and say, "Oh, I'm only reloading 2 calibers."
Okay.
I don't know if I because I'm not a big fan of the new style of the press frames that Lee's come out with. That's what I have, the classic turret, and I love it. The kit, on the other hand, it leaves a lot to be desired, personally.
Oh, okay.
So the kit, honestly, in the kit, the only two things that you need to worry about replacing are the lube and the scale.
Yeah, the scale is really funky. Yes.
But you still don't have a trimmer. You don't have let's see here. It comes with, it does come with the, all right. So it does come with a cutter, lock stud, chamfer tool, small and large primer pocket cleaner, tubally case sizing lube, which that you can check.
Started putting
so then
pocket cleaners, dang.
So you get all you need is your case length gauge. Go with it. The advantage of this turret is you can do it either manually, or they do have a allowance for it to auto index.
Oh, okay. Does it prime on press?
Yes.
Okay.
You can prime on press, yes.
So you can basically load on that whole thing, just like a progressive.
Yep. We just don't have a scale.
Okay.
That's practical to use. Once you figure out how to use that scale is actually pretty good. But the problem is figuring out how to use it, because it is
fussy.
Yes.
The other thing that one has, doesn't have any way to case clean, but that's, you're talking $400 more, which you can just do with hot soapy water in a bucket. But
yeah, see, these kits,
I'm not a fan of the new designed presses, because they sit too low. The stress points sitting lower.
Well, I haven't heard a lot of them breaking, so.
Anybody in our audience have any presses that they would use? Tommy Boy says he won't prime on press.
For progressive, I will.
Yeah.
Precision loading, no. For rifle, no.
Well,
I don't have my 550 set up for precision, so therefore that's why.
I understand, and I'm sitting there saying there is a way to.
It can be done.
Right, to adjust the posts so you can get priming seating depth that you want.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Oh, absolutely, you can. The 550, even as it is, without doing anything else, it does have adjustable seating depth on your primer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, to a point.
Yes. Needs to be a hair longer, but that's to a point. It works. Yes.
Right.
And with a little finagling, it does turn out, good loads. The only thing I don't like about it for rifle loads is the powder measure. The powder measure for stick powder is not exactly the best there is, volumetric wise. I think it cuts too many kernels of powder, and doesn't run as smoothly as some of the other ones do. And the really funny part is that Lee probably makes the best one out there for doing stick powders.
Because it's plastic and it's soft and it doesn't cut it.
And it's got a polymer lip on there to cut the doesn't cut the granules. It kind of folds them in one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, but everybody else has got a metal drum or a slide or something that you have to move in order to work. So, precision wise, yeah, you can stick with electronic dispenser. Even the Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper is. You have one, right, Nick?
I won't be using it much longer, but
why not?
I have a new one to start testing here soon.
Oh, okay.
So,
what do you got? A super trickler in?
No. I have a RCBS Supreme.
Okay.
So it's gonna start once the rifles get in the vault, which is probably gonna be here in 2 weeks. Once the flooring's down, I can start at the press again, and I'll set up that new powder dispenser and start playing with that and see how that runs.
Yeah, that's an interesting dispenser.
Yeah, no, I took it out of the box, looked at it. It's super nice, and I'll be interested to play with it and see. Because I know, like I said a couple weeks ago, I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago, my Frankfurt Arsenal has a tendency when I'm like getting closer to it, it really fluctuates on reading on the scale. So I'm hoping this doesn't do it as much. So we'll see.
Okay.
So I think you were saying get a grounding mat might help resolve that. So I'm gonna pick one of those up as well
and double check your lighting.
Yep.
So yeah, grounding mat and run a ground to the cord. To the someplace that's grounded. Water pipe or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Electrical conduit, whatever.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Anti-static spray.
Yep.
How many people use anti-static spray or dryer sheets to keep powder from sticking into their powder measures?
That's one trick my dad taught me, and I will never. I keep all my old dryer sheets for that specific reason.
I just buy the spray. I buy the spray.
Spray, yeah. A lot of people. I always also keep like a baggie full of. This is kind of a different topic, but just a baggie full of old dryer lint, because every so often I'll replace it in my backpack or my bug out bag, because it makes perfect fire starter. Dryer lint does so. But yeah, that's.
Do you add wax to it?
Every so often I'll add some, just kind of keep it moist in that moist range, and doesn't dry out per se. But
yeah, dryers. My kids used to do the dryer lint, egg cartons, and hot wax, and just cut out the
paraffin.
Paraffin.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Make sure you use the right stuff. You use the wrong stuff, and you're going to be in for a sad day.
Yeah.
We did the same thing with the cardboard egg cartons, paraffin, and sawdust.
Oh, okay.
So
that'd be that's an interesting one. Yeah.
So as far as turrets, the only kit that I find out there is that
Lyman.
Yeah.
That's a nice kit. I mean, with it comes with the tumbler, the press, the powder dispenser.
I mean, if you're not going to go with the 550, I'd go with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only issue I see with the 550 is it doesn't come with, case feeders and bullet feeders. There's aftermarket support for those.
Yeah.
So, but neither does the Lyman in the Ultimate. So
I'm just kind of looking at what that kit comes with from the Lyman. Really, the only thing I would upgrade is I would not use the hand primer, and I would get some sort of bench-mounted priming system, like either the RCBS or one of the other good ones out there, and I'd be set.
I'd prime on press though, but by using the PCP.
True. Yeah.
That one would work for what I want, for what most people would want to do, because you can prime really fast on that, because you just flick your finger back and forth, and as you're changing cases, you can, it's not a difficult process. So and it's got a micrometer stop on it and everything else, and you can go cheaper. I mean, they make a $100 one without the micrometer on it, and it still mounts to a press. And I know some reloaders that use it, and they went out and bought a cheap press to mount it on, and use that for their reload, for their reloading. So, it's an interesting situation with everybody here that already has a reloading setup or multiple reloading setups, and our audience the same way. They're having, not a lot of
yeah, it's their auto
primer.
load one. Yeah, so it's the same, similar to one that you were talking about, Paul, the little single one, but this one has ability to run off tubes.
That's a pretty good price too.
Yeah,
that's direct from Lyman.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a little more too. Yeah, and I think if I remember right, they said on this one you can adjust seating depth. Yep, right there with variable seating depths. Yep.
And it doesn't follow the case, the rim thickness. It takes that into account.
So, and look at that, you got spots for extra tubes.
Oh wow!
You just keep rocking.
That is a very, very interesting new tool.
Yeah, we were glad at SHOT to see Lyman kind of really coming out with some new products, because it had been a couple of years. They really were pushing the Mark 7 stuff the last 3 or 4 years, it felt like. And so it was good to see some newer, I would say, basic stuff from them, but not too basic, but kind of going back to their roots.
That is very nice looking.
Yeah, compact. Yeah, super compact, easy to. I think that if somebody was looking at one of those, put that on one of the inline mounts. It's easy to store, out of the way when you're done.
Plus, you could get it to the height that you wanted it to make it work well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And with a couple of bins on each side, you could really run.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because all you need is the one hand for the lever, and you can put case boom. Yep, you're rolling.
Yeah. That is and at $175, that beats the PCP at $200. I'm just wondering what shell holder it takes, if it's a Lee or if it's a.
If I remember, it uses any of the universal style
standard.
I would say. Yeah, your standard shell holders, if I remember right.
So in other words, the Lyman and the RCBS and the Redding would work. The Hornady is
except standard shell holders.
Except the Hornady one is just a little bit different.
Well, Hornady is a little bit different.
Yeah.
That's for you, Bench Addict. So, yeah, it looks like Tommy Boy said he's seen some finish issues on dies from Lyman.
So,
no, I don't know.
I've dealt with the 9mm Pro dies, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I have on my I run a Lyman 38 Super dies, but they're old. They're an old set, so I can't compare them to what's new.
To answer Ed's question, is there any good reloading books for milsurps out there? I wouldn't say there's a specific book for surplus reloading. The book I seem to go to literally like every day when I'm looking at old military loads and stuff like that is the handbook, Handloader's Manual to Cartridge Conversions. If you're not going to convert brass, it's not a book you absolutely need, but it's good to have for times you ever get tough again, where you need to get, say, 8mm Mauser, for instance. For a while, 8mm Mauser brass was super hard to find, so this gives you a few options that you can convert it out of. That's about the best book as far as surplus reloading, I would say, on the market. Your forums is really your go-to place for finding out reloading stuff for milsurps.
Yeah, they're not gonna be in the books a lot.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, there's with some of them there are pressure issues. They don't know the quality of the firearm that you're dealing with. So, but if it's Swiss made, you're okay to go.
Yeah. Well, he's been asking me questions about loading. He ended up picking up that Swiss Federally Ed did, and so he's been reaching out, asking me questions on that. But he's set up. He's running pretty good on so far. Nice thing is, it was already pre-converted to centerfire, so he doesn't have to worry about doing that himself. So, which is nice. So,
yeah,
that saves him some major amount of time. And plus, it came with some ammo, so that's going to help him. Because you have to take 8mm LaBelle brass, cut it down, and then run it through the sizing die to flare it out. So that this will give him a good starting point on where to trim that case to start. And I would say trim it a 1/4 inch longer. That gives you a little bit more wiggle room when you put it up through the sizing die. You just got to trim a little more, but I'd rather do some extra trimming. It'd be long than short.
All right.
Yep.
Especially coming to the Swiss Federalies, because being a tube fed gun, you really want that case length and overall length to be just perfect for them to feed correctly.
Well, it's feeding, and also it's a tube fed gun and that way the nose of the bullet is down on the rim, right?
Yep.
So
so that's why everybody's using 8mm LaBelle brass. I don't have a LaBelle brass here handy, but on LaBelle brass on the butt, there's a groove around the primer that because on 8mm LaBelle they were Spitzer, so that tip would sit in that groove and not strike the primer in the magazine tube on the LaBelles. So it's a good case to use for converting to 41 Swiss for that reason.
That's why I kind of brought it up, because
absolutely.
Some people don't understand that Spitzer bullets can run in some tube guns.
Yep.
But please don't do it in a 94
or a 336.
Yeah.
All my tube guns I use flat nose just for that reason, so I don't have an issue.
Tommy Boy says you can use a bore scope to check for case length. You might be able to do that if you got a long enough bore scope. I got a 26-inch and it won't work because 27 and 28-inch barrels, but okay.
I figure best way to figure out case length, Sarasafe the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Like between Sarasafing a chamber, and if there's any somewhat bolt spec out there or cartridge spec, that'll give you a good starting point.
Yeah.
Figure out the min max, gives you a good starting point.
Mm-hmm. And we've demonstrated that on the show as far as doing that. And we still have to get Mike to get with some Sarasafe to do that 6.5 by 284 barrel.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I'm hoping to pick up an old military rifle this summer that I have no idea what caliber it is, which is hard for me to do. But and then do a Sarasafe of the chamber, maybe on a show one night to try to determine what caliber it is. So that'd be kind of cool.
I got one on hold at work right now.
Not sure the chambering?
Pretty sure it's a 7x57, but but I got to get the money to pay for it. So
if it's a military rifle, shoot me photos. I could probably just tell you instantly what it is.
Well, obviously, dork.
Like I was at the shop the other day when I was looking at what the infield, and this younger guy, maybe a couple years younger than me, walks in and he sees they had 3 Mosin carbines there on the shelf. I'm like, okay, they're Mosin carbines, nothing special to me. He's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, I remember when that's all I was really going after were Mosins. But him and I just start talking, and he's like, oh, I'd love to reload. So I'm not sure if he's going to check out the show, but yeah, there's those times when you can just walk in, oh, that's in that caliber, and
yeah.
So it's bad to do. It's bad to know that, but then it's good to know that. So.
Yep. All right, gang. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, they made, what was it, the Husqvarna? I can never remember the model, but a lot of times those were chambered in like some big bore Africa hunting cartridges. So yeah. Husqvarna sporting rifles.
9.3, yeah.
Yeah, 9.3 was one. There was a couple other bigger ones.
Isn't there an 11?
Yeah, they made an 11, yeah. But Husqvarna also, because it's part of Seiko, they
make motorcycles now.
Yeah, but they also made one hell of a nice little 222.
Mm-hmm.
Back
then. Remington, nice. And running with scissors, no. In this case, it means it's time to talk about Gun Con.
Uh-oh.
It's Jim. Hi, Jim. You joined just in time to talk about Gun Con.
Really?
Yep.
You're going, right?
No.
Cleveland's too far away for him.
Okay.
Mike's probably about half right. The other thing is too moolah. Or the lack thereof.
Okay. Understand that.
Sorry. Thank you.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Who's on tonight?
Just us.
Mike on twice. Jim, Nick, Paul. Where's Ray? It's not your turn to watch him, Nick. Don't worry about it.
Now, he was doing housework. He said he might join, but he might have got tired after doing housework and yard work.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go for a while myself today. I got something done, though. I got something done. I'm very proud of it. I got something done.
What'd you get done?
I sorted my last wheel weight.
Yay! Everybody applaud Jim.
I kid you not, guys. I had 11 buckets I went through. 11 damn buckets.
Oh, and how many did you end up with?
About 3.5 of lead and about 2 of zinc and about 5 buckets of freaking steel and iron.
Off to the scrapyard with those.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, not the scrapyard. I just put them in the trash because they'll deteriorate. Well, I think steel's 15 cents on 100 weight. 1 bucket might weigh 150 pounds.
No idea.
No, not worth it to me.
Yeah.
The steel will just go back into the earth. I know it's going to go in the landfill.
Yep.
Anyway, I sorted out my last wheel weight today. Thank God. Now, the next thing I got to do is put the money together, make sure I have enough propane to do some rendering. Making ingots. Ingots of zinc and ingots of steel. Or steel, my ass. Ingots of lead, wheel weights.
That'd be funny to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a...
Yeah, it takes a good bit to melt a pot of lead. It really does. This pot I have, I believe it'll hold about 180 pounds of lead, molten lead.
Wow. What do you got?
Yeah, it's pretty good size.
Okay.
It was 12-inch steel pipe. I managed to pick up a piece. Oh, God, I have no idea where I picked it up. I have no idea when I picked it up. But it's like 12 by 12 piece of steel pipe, steel casing, like oil casing.
Yeah.
Where I come up with it, I have no idea. I've had since before I broke up with my first wife.
And you welded the bottom in?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Matter of fact, good night you mentioned it, Paul. I had difficulty welding it because I wanted to make it watertight. Every time I'd cool it off, and I'd weld it up, let it cool off correctly. Thank you, Russ. I see you out there. Up there, Alaska Russ #1. Anyway, I kept the bottom and the pipe cool off, and I had to put some water in it. And sure enough, leak like a sieve. I managed to get it to stop, but it's watertight now. But wow.
Did you?
Yeah, it's got a piece of 1/4-inch steel pipe or steel plate on the bottom, and 1/4-inch walls on the tank, the upright itself.
Okay. Did you cut a bevel all the way around it before you welded it?
I don't remember. Probably not. Yeah, I would have. I'm not that ignorant when it comes to welding. I would probably done it. Can I say definitively? Did I do it? No, I cannot say that. But I say probably.
Yeah, because you could, you get one pass in there to weld it, and then your next 2 passes to fill it, and that way you get a.
But I do remember I TIG welded it.
Oh, you TIG welded it! Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look at you being fancy.
Yeah, really.
Well, that was years. That was years ago. That was 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. I think I made that. I made that after Morris and I got married. That was in 2004. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, I use that for rendering my lead, and I made a smaller pot made out of 10-inch pipe for rendering the zinc. That's going to be interesting because that's quite a bit hotter than the lead will be. About 100 degrees hotter.
Just depends upon how much propane you got then.
Yep. That's why I say gotta make sure all my propane tanks are full before I start that.
So you ladle it out, or you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Ladle it out. Believe it or not, I bought some of the cheapest muffin pans you can buy in the Dollar Tree.
Sure.
They hold a large muffin pan, regular cupcake pan. It holds about each little cupcake, whatever it's called, partition, and it makes about a 2-pound ingot.
Right. Yeah. It'd be a lot lighter with zinc, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It'd be less than a pound at that rate. I forgot about that. But you're right. And yes, I don't think Andy 79Z28 is out there tonight. He probably already went to bed, but he'll back me up on this. Zinc is about 60% of what lead is.
Right.
In weight by volume.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably who Tommy Boy's talking about in the Georgia Shooting Connection.
Yeah, I'd like to know more about that Georgia Shooting Connection.
Friday night at 7 Central, they go live.
Okay.
So a good group of guys over there. I join every so often when I have nothing going on Friday nights, just kind of listen in. I've been on there a couple times, but
Guy over on Georgia Shooting Connection trades the zinc for tin. Ooh, he's got tin to trade for zinc. I got zinc. I got zinc.
I think that'd be because Andy joins every so often.
Yeah, Andy joins.
Chico's on every so often.
Yeah.
There's some good guys over there. It's a good group.
Good knowledge, good source of information. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not that far from me.
There you go.
Chico's from Marietta.
Mm-hmm. Then you have JH. I can never remember his channel name. Gosh dang it. The guy that runs the show. He's from Georgia as well. He's a big Georgia Bulldog fan.
Mm-hmm.
I did do something else.
Yeah, he and I both hate Alabama, so it's okay.
We all do.
Yep.
You guys have noticed I found my podcast hat. And you can see, and we're talking about my Scott Screen and Gun Con up. I got my new patch of the month. Got it yesterday, as a matter of fact.
I thought I got mine, but I don't see it anywhere, so I don't know. But
yeah, go ahead, Nick.
We'll show the patch off in a couple minutes. So
okay,
Gun Con is coming June 28th, 2025, from the Twist Drill Building in Cleveland, Ohio. This is the public day. It's an amazing event. You get a lot of chance and a lot of opportunity to talk to vendors. Companies you wouldn't necessarily always get a chance to talk to. You can ask them questions. The other fun part of the day is the panels. You get a lot of new media personalities that are there. You actually get a chance to honestly ask them questions. Plus, they're roaming around the premises the whole time, so you can run into a chance and sit down and have a chat with them. So, one guy said it's JH586. Yes. And so did Tommy Boy. So guncon.net. Grab your tickets. You get to see a lot of people, meet a lot of people. There's going to potentially be a Firearms Radio Network meetup. I don't know for sure. Sean was talking about it. If there is, it's probably going to be at River's Edge Tactical, which is Jeremy Posderik's range. Keep in mind, if you go to GunCon, Jeremy's range is only like 25 minutes from there, and he has a lot of full autos that you can rent and shoot. Oh, yeah. So, guncon.net, swing over, grab your tickets, and we'll see you there in 52 days, 13 hours, 23 minutes, and 15 seconds. So what else have you been up to, Jim, besides wheel weights? That's awesome. Jim is muted. Jim is muted. Jim is muted.
Tied the feedback on over to Gun Club tonight. Sorry about that. We went to the Gun Club meeting tonight, and Marissa made some chili for chili dogs and cheese and all that mess. I'll tell you what, I've never seen that place was so packed with people waiting for her food. There were not enough chairs for everybody to go around. There were people standing at the meeting eating on their feet.
Nice.
And every one of them said thank you to her. Ben even made it a point to bring it up in the minutes of the meeting to thank my wife for doing the excellent work. And so I went to my monthly meeting of the Gun Club, which as everybody knows, if you know anything about politics and guns, that's the most important place you start out with, doing your politics, doing your political thing is in your local gun club.
Mm-hmm.
Did I cut my nose off to spite my face? Well, I'll let you guys decide. Tonight, the president brought up the fact that to the east of us, there's going to be this major housing development going up. That would be out, probably 15, 20 miles. I don't know. 10 miles. And, gun clubs, gun ranges are disappearing by the droves around this country and due to housing developments going up. And we're grandfathered in. Yeah, right. We're grandfathered in, but he brought up a good point tonight. He wants to raise the dues by $25. The dues right now in this gun club is $100. Join this year, it's $100. Join next year or renew next year, it's going to be $125. Did I cut my nose off to spite my face? People started arguing about it. I said to the president, and when I stood up politely and correctly and put my hand up, I was duly recognized. I says, Ben, I would like to make a motion. He was kind of shocked by that because we were in the middle of the discussion. I says, put it to a vote and put it to a vote right damn now. He says, well, do I have a second? On Jim's motion? Got it. They voted it in. Some people were whining, pissing, and moaning. Oh, what is this? Club for profit? No, it's a club trying to raise a war chest, trying to be proactive politically because you know you were going to have to hire an attorney, a powerful attorney, at $600 an hour to defend our rights and to defend the fact that the gun club is in existence.
So what you guys need to do, and they just did this in Iowa, is, and you guys have an advantage in North Carolina, but what they did is the state government passed a law banning lawsuits on noise complaints if the housing development is built after the racetrack or shooting range was already there.
Good idea.
So
because that grandfathers us in.
If you guys can get teamed up with NASCAR.
Yep, because that just came in effect here recently for Nashville Fairgrounds. That's how they've been able to do all that, because it's been around for over 100 years.
Because if you can get NASCAR on board and get that law passed there for protection of, racetracks and gun ranges, yeah, NASCAR is gonna. Then you don't have to worry about raising money. You got NASCAR's war chest.
NASCAR almost rules the state of North Carolina away because look how much money got put to
Rockingham and
North Wilkesboro and Hickory, all the local tracks. Yeah.
I'll bring this up. And then right where to start. NCRPA.
And I guarantee you there's probably at least 2 or 3 people that are members of your gun club and of the North Carolina Rifle and Pistol Association that know people that work for NASCAR. Because North Carolina is not that big of a state.
It's in NASCAR.
You're right.
Like I said, NASCAR runs that state when they have how many of their tracks are in that state. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We may not have a lot of as much population as some of the bigger states like California and New York, but we do definitely have our gun rights. We also have Fort Bragg, and we also have Lejeune. We have Seymour Johnson. We have a bunch of noisemakers around the state. I like that.
Yeah.
That's why I wear my hearing for Ear Pro.
Trust me. When Concord, when stuff going on in Concord starts to get irritated by people complaining, Raleigh starts to listen real quick.
Yep.
When Concord and Charlotte start to get pissed, Raleigh listens real quick.
Well, Charlotte's done. Rockingham's done by Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Concord's where NASCAR's headquarters are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Charlotte's where the speedway is.
And it's actually this is interesting to know. Charlotte Motor Speedway can hold the latest time started race because it is where NASCAR is based out of, and they have anything grandfathered in there in that area. If it's 1 o'clock in the morning, they can start the race.
Yep.
They don't normally, but
they won't, but they can.
Yeah. Because all the teams are within 20 minutes of there. They're just, they hold a grandfather clause of basically anything they want in the Charlotte area.
Yeah. Charlotte, the Charlotte City Council doesn't say no because they know how much money that NASCAR moves in.
Well, I'll be at Kansas Speedway this Sunday for the race. So.
Well, Big Bill, they challenged Big Bill in the 60s. And he said, I like Daytona better. That was the end of that.
Yeah. Who is Big Bill? Well, I get your point, but who is Big Bill?
Big Bill France, who is the founder of NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, a gentleman in the 50s who's 6 foot, what was he, Mike? 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah.
Just a giant, probably almost 270 pounds, just a built guy. Nobody got in his way.
No.
I can't imagine why.
There's many stories, none of them, of course, substantiated, but there are many stories of the early days of NASCAR where he settled things with fists.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
So, but yeah, it was his way, and that was that. So, but all right, Jim, let's see that patch.
Gladly, and thank you, sir. It is the month of May. It says on the top, Army, Navy, Marines. I can't read it backwards.
It says defending freedom for 250 years.
And here's the sticker. Right. I already took it out of the paperwork, out of the wrapper. Don't mind my fingers.
Yep. So
the Army's having the Army's having a big celebration. I've already been invited because I am a veteran. I've been cordially, and it's a blanket invitation, but still I've been cordially invited to big 250th birthday party for the United States Army.
Mm-hmm.
I was Army for a while.
You were Army, and you were Navy, and you were Air Force.
Yes, sir. Found a home in the Air Force.
Notice the Air Force isn't on the hat.
No.
Because they're not that old.
Nope, they were brought about after World War II.
48.
This is the one I think is important. This sticker right here about gun safety. Colonel Cooper's 4 rules of gun safety.
Yep.
I think that's more important than the one I just showed off. Of course, here's Ryan's original drawing.
Yep.
Join the Patriot Patch Company and become a Patriot Patch of the Month Club. Join the Patch of the Month Club. You get all that for yourself. Take me off full screen, please.
Yeah, we're scaring the children.
You bet. Well, children should not be up this late at night anyway. Nick, you get an exception because you're part of the podcast.
I'm no child. I'll be 30 next year.
Oh my gosh.
You are a child compared to me and Paul.
Well, yeah.
I'm 41 years older than you, bub. I'm 41 years older than you. Old enough to be your granddad. Paul is too. He's older than me. But anyway. Anyway, so what are we doing tonight? What are we talking about? Get plugged.
So we were talking about seating stems for bullets, but that's over and done with. We were actually just getting close to wrapping everything up.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, you're fine.
Oh.
We're glad to have you. So
Appreciate that. Yeah, I know a couple nights, Mike, you've been on the air by yourself, and I come in to bail you out. It's tough. It's tough podcasting by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
At least when I first started, and Mike first started, we didn't even have a gallery out there. We weren't podcasting on YouTube. We were podcasting into a recording, and it's like, ooh, how Michael Bain does it to this day, I don't know.
The special talent. So,
amen to that.
So if you're looking for
Michael Bain and I are Facebook friends.
Nice.
Yep. Go ahead, Mike. You were saying?
Met him a couple times. Talked to him a little bit at SHOT Show a couple of years ago.
That boy,
when we were at the Bishop's booth, he's got a really nice 458 lever gun. So, they made him. But if you're looking for some cool camo, swing over to camerado.com. Use coupon code RELOAD at checkout. Save 5%, but check out everything Sean's got. He's got all sorts of cool stuff over there. And they switch out what they're putting the camo on every once in a while. So you can get some different options and stuff for clothing. So that's kind of a neat thing that they do. So, but they've got a lot of good stuff. The material is good quality. The clothing is good quality. It holds up. So I think Marissa would beg to differ, but that's a different story.
I had to do that. Sorry for interrupting, but I can't. The bottom line of text is always covered by a bubble that says "share your referral link." I'm afraid to touch because I touched it one time. I put out 5 lines of. Yeah, it's like I can't get rid of the bubble. But anyway, thank you, Russ. Appreciate the compliment. But Mike's right. Marissa would beg to differ.
So. All right, gang. Now it's time. So,
did you plug Patriot Patch already? I know I did, but mine's not comprehensive as yours. Okay, that's fine.
No, that's you did that. So, but so our website is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can swing over there. From there, you can sign up for Patreon, be a Pet to the Month Club member. You can also click on the Buy Our Merch button and swing over to Southern Gals Crafts, where you can get awesome shirts like this one, awesome tumblers like this. Got sweatshirts, hoodies for the kids, whatever you want to call them. All that good stuff over there. So, and the thought train just went right off the rails.
It followed the crawler.
Yeah. So, I did reach out to Inline Fabrication. I sent them an email, see if they want to come on, but I haven't heard back. So that's not very promising, but we do have some other guests. So we're working on getting lined up. So, and then Nick and I both have that same, dispenser to test, which I'm going to hopefully get to do next week. Cause hopefully by then I'll be done helping out my buddy and I can get back to doing some other stuff. Looks like Paul's coming along nicely on his reloading room, and Jim's going to be updating us on his wheel weight progress. So But other than that, we're just rolling along. If you want to donate to the show and you don't want to use Patreon, you can just send me an email, and we can use other means.
Yeah, he accepts cashier's checks, Bitcoin, and bonds, stocks, anything else that you want to get rid of.
Venmo, Zelle,
Yeah,
PayPal.
Preferably seven figures.
Well,
Does anybody watch TGC News? So John's shows he puts out each week.
Yeah, sometimes.
So he put out today. His new episode came out today, and I can never remember the company's name. They're based out of Europe. Is making a Bitcoin themed revolver.
Oh, there we
and
go.
It's like $85,000. If you get the chance, go over and watch John's new episode from today. It's one of the very first things he talks about. It is hilarious how funny looking this thing is.
Wow.
It would take one Bitcoin to buy the damn gun.
Pretty much. Yeah. One Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. It's got like $5,000 worth of 24 karat gold strung all around in that and built into the gun. It's just.
I would love to find that guy's hard drive. So there's a guy, I think in England, he lost a hard drive.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
Yep.
That has I don't remember how many Bitcoin on it, but let's just say that this hard drive is worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And he lost it. So, but other people have lost Bitcoin because they lose their passwords and stuff like that. So, there's probably a few $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that's been lost. So that doesn't happen if you bury your dollars in the mason jar in the backyard, kids.
So it's holding. He lost his hard drive holding $670 million in Bitcoin.
And it's in a landfill, they said.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get the courts to allow him to stop the landfill and to recover it.
Yep.
And he's been turned down every single time.
Yep.
Potentially could be up to $750 million now.
Oops.
That was, yeah.
Oh, well. It happens. So
it does.
Yep. Tell me what I wanted to know if anybody has the older original Chargemaster. I have not.
No.
So
I had a pack.
Wouldn't that be the RCBS brand?
Yeah.
I bet I know somebody who has one.
I think Jason does.
My youngest son.
Your kid does. So, but yeah, they were pretty durable. So they last quite a long time. So,
well, those were one of the few that you could adjust the powder charge, and that was nice. That was
the Hornadays you could too, but it was a lot of finagling to do it.
Okay.
There was a settings menu you could go into.
Right.
But the problem with the Hornadays is they would just up and stop working. Like mine, that's sitting out on the shelf out there.
And you can't get it serviced.
Oh, I could have, but I had to pay for it.
Why won't they service it?
Because they wouldn't stand behind the fact that it just up and died.
Oh.
They were going to charge me for everything to fix it and stuff, and I'm like, no.
Electronics are never warranted. You know that, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time companies take care of it, especially considering the fact that it wasn't that old.
The thing that got me is that they just came out with their new precision scale. Okay, not a dispenser, but a scale, and it's supposed to be down to two hundredths or 400ths of a grain. So, and you're not gonna warranty? Nah.
Paul, you and I both know most of us reloaders out there, and I said reloaders, not hand loaders. We never go beyond 1/10 of a grain, much less 10/100ths of a grain.
Yeah, I understand, but if you're going to offer something that is out
they
there,
better stand behind it.
Right.
Yep.
So,
I'm not disagreeing with you, gents.
Nope.
Just talking real world practicality.
Yep.
Real world. That is the whole key to the whole kit and caboodle. The real world. Mm-hmm. And things fail in the real world. It was made by man, and
you're preaching to the choir, brother Paul.
And yep. And I'm a big user of electronic scales. I'm and I like the ones that go down the 200ths of a grain, but nah. Yeah. Anyway.
Exactly. So, on that note, keep your brass shiny.
Jump on the Millsap short bus.
Grandpa said, "Don't listen to your mama." He said, "Violence does solve problems."
Support your local gun club. Support your local gun club. Support your local gun club, and join your local gun club. And join your local political organizations for defending your Second Amendment rights. Support the Second Amendment. 2A all the way. SOF, SAF, not SOF. Second Amendment Foundation. I joined Gun Owners of America. And I'm an NRA benefactor level member. Notice I put that last.
Yep. So if you're an NRA member, keep on them.
They're getting better.
The elections had positive results, so there's some better people. There's a few more Wayne's cronies out the door, so keep on them. But also, you need to keep on your elected representatives. Keep paying attention to what they're doing. Watch what they're doing. Let them know you're watching what they're doing, but be nice about it. So, let them know that you are paying attention to what they're doing and how they're voting. So, more importantly, if you're struggling, 988 or 1-800-273-8255. Reach out, get some help. Take that first step in the fight, because we want you here. We need you here. And, we need to have you keep fighting so you can help us keep fighting. All right, gang. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, all.